It looks like Angelyne. I like Angelyne. It's Angelyne, right? But she says it's Angelyne. It's Angelyne? Oh, there's Angelyne. Oh, good old Angelyne. No, Angelyne. You know what Angelyne is going to do? Angelyne is going to send in the otters, California. She's got a progressive platform. She's going to send in the otters to save California's coastline. She's going to abolish private prisons. She's going to make sure that everybody convicted with marijuana charges will be freed and released. She's got three strikes laws for the police. She wants to temporarily house the homeless in the park. She wants to establish a Department of Homelessness Prevention to nip the problem in the bud, to stop the problem before it even begins. She wants to establish a homeless fund to be funded by religious institutions. Okay, religious motherfuckers, put your money where your mouth is. You care about the poor? You care about the homeless? Didn't Jesus say something about care about? She wants a policeman's ball for good cops, for those wonderful peace officers. There shall be a policeman's ball. She wants to decriminalize sex work, abolish private prisons, establish private rehab. She wants all convicts with marijuana charges to be freed or released. Three strikes laws for the police. She wants a masquerade ball, UFO convention, a policeman's ball, bubble bath day. There's a lot of really good shit there. Abolish private prisons, decriminalize sex work, send in the otters. Let's take a look at, you have David Moore here. David Moore the Trotsky, okay? David Moore the Trotsky is running for the governor of California.
Very confused expression. So, under those circumstances, the DSA's decision at the national level, I mean, I didn't check yesterday, but as of very recently, there's been no articles written, no statements issued at the national level or in their affiliated magazine, Jacobin. And so the only statements have kind of come out at this local level, and it's very striking, the complacency and I'd say real middle-class character of the DSA's response to this recall election, where they've entirely adopted Gavin Newsom's demands. Newsom says, vote no on the recall and just leave question 2 blank. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, they have absolutely bowed down to the Fuhrer. Gavin Newsom is taking this election. He's, holding it hostage, but he's, holding his entire agenda, whatever agenda that was. It's not a progressive agenda. We'll say it's just a Gavin Newsom agenda, right? So it's not a progressive agenda. What? How come you have 12% poverty rate? Why you got 160,000 homeless people? Yeah, right. Okay. California needs more liberal policies, more. So you have, right, all these candidates are all running. Caitlyn Jenner, she says that 70% of useful water goes into the Pacific Ocean. So California has water problems. California even has water problems. California, you need to get a whole bunch more hydroelectric dams. You need more desalination plants, and you need more wells. Dig some wells, create some desalination plants and hydroelectric dams. Now, I would not list Larry Elder on my ranked choice ballot. If I had a ranked choice ballot, I could vote for the top 5. I could rank these candidates. What a better conversation, huh? Instead of just picking one person and then saying all the rest are dog shit, I get to say I like one best, but I like these other 4 candidates too. So my top 5 would be Kapelovitz, Angelyne, Drake, Loeb, and Moore. And in that order, in reverse. So David Moore, the guy you just saw, he would be the Trotsky, right? I would vote the Trotsky as my governor. You want a progressive agenda. You want to actually use the power that you got. California, they want to sit there and talk about, vote for the person and then hope that they'll, give you something. That's not how power works. That's not how power works. Right now is you strike the iron when it's hot. Right now you have power. The people of California have power right now. After the election, you ain't going to have no fucking power. You're going to give your power to somebody. Who are you going to give your power to? If you want to go ahead and say you're a good Democrat, vote no on the recall. If you're sick of Gavin Newsom and you're sick of how California is being run, then vote yes on the recall. But don't leave the second question blank. If you leave the second question blank, that fucks over progressives, that fucks over socialists, that fucks over even Democrats. There's a whole bunch of Democrats that's on the second question too. So that fucks a shit ton of people over. But Gavin Newsom said to do it. The Democratic Party, lock, step and barrel, right behind him, right, followed him like a So, Kapelovitz, Angelyne, Drake, Loebs, Moore. So, those would be, let's see, David Moore, my number 1, Michael Loebs, number 2, John Robert Drake, Angelyne, Dan Kapelovitz. Angelyne would be number 5, and then between Kapelovitz and John Robert Drake, you know what? I got to give it to John Robert Drake. My, how Kapelovitz has fallen. Kapelovitz was my first go-to guy. He already had my vote. He already had my love and, support and loyalty. But he blew that one. We need to have a politician that has a sense enough to see a supporter and say, hey, thanks for supporting me. And then, okay, where's the revolution? It's right here. Okay, cool, Dan Kapelovitz. All right, I'm here. Now what? Nothing? You got nothing, huh? California has all the problems that America has. California's got 12% poverty rate, 160,000 homeless people. They got street sleepers, people sleeping on the street. They got too much crime. They also got too much police brutality. Everything's too damned expensive. California, like I said before, even has water problems. 80% of all the water that's used in California is used to irrigate the fields of farmers. So you don't get no water, Californian, but, Billy Goat Gruff, old Billy Goat Gruff, he gets. So once more, Larry Elder would not be on my ranked choice ballot. Number 1, the Trotsky, David Moore. Number 2 would be the California nationalist, Michael Loebs. Number 3, John Robert Drake, Mr. California working class. Regular fucking guy. He's got a landlord. He's an asshole. He's got family problems. I can relate to all this shit. He also has a head full of dreams. Young man who wants to change the world. That's fantastic. I would trust him to get us universal health care. He knows what the struggle's like. Dan Kapelovitz, he's Green Party bro, right? He don't seem to have a very articulate platform. It's just, he's done this before, so I don't see why he's so bad at this. Maybe because he's just resting on his old, websites and shit. But I would think that, being a policy guru, that I would go on and on about my platform planks, right? On and on. You want to know my opinion about universal health care? Well, shit, take a seat. I got some opinions about that, but where's Dan Kapelovitz? Maya Wiley, they were, dancing in Times Square with the New York City's mayor's race. Said they were trying to do some shit, what's his fucking face, in Kentucky, jumped out of a plane, did some parachuting. That one guy, Cox, he got a fucking elephant or some shit. What did he had like a lion or a bear or some shit, which kind of got him in trouble because it was like, where the fuck did you get a lion and bear? Rich motherfucker, Cox. Why would any other Republican besides Larry Elder run on this? If you're a Republican and you're not Larry Elder, you should just drop out of this race. You will not fucking win. What the fuck are you even doing? So, and then Angelyne, she's an old-ass Hollywood billboard icon, progressive like Gavin Newsom. She will not sign single-payer health care into existence. That's my main criticism with Angelyne, is that she wants the insurance companies to have a seat at the table. So she's not even promising single-payer universal health care. So Gavin Newsom and Angelyne, neither one of these candidates will get us universal health care. Gavin Newsom, get us universal health care. You got 4 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Or we're voting for David Moore. We're going to send in the Trotsky. We're going to send in the Trotsky. Why? Because he's a Trotsky. That means he's not going to try to enrich himself. He's not going to make a bunch of money for just himself. He actually gives a shit about the whole lot, about 40 million Californians. The Trotsky wants 40 million Californians to, persevere and prosper and, do great things. So the Trotsky, yeah, I trust a communist to lead a fucking state. You're goddamn right I trust a fucking communist. Motherfucker, you got one asshole that wants money for himself, and then you got another asshole that says, I love everybody and everybody has a right to live. Let's see. One's a greedy fuck who's going to enrich himself, and the other one gives a shit about everybody. You're goddamn right I trust the Trotsky. I trust the Trotsky. I trust Michael Loebs, him being a California nationalist. He wants to secede from the Union. So that makes me think of a whole bunch of right-wing fucking, militia. But he's probably the most progressive in terms of how many progressive planks on his platform he's got. His progressive planks just go on and on and on. So without further ado, I'm actually going to compare and contrast these platforms. And hopefully I can get this all in one shot. So I already, just real quick, Angelyne. Her platform is sending the otters to save California's coastlines, temporary housing for the homeless in the parks, establish a Department of Homeless Prevention, establish a homeless fund to be funded by religious institutions, policeman's ball for good cops, for those wonderful peace officers. There shall be a policeman's ball, decriminalize sex work, abolish private prisons, establish private rehabs. All convicts with marijuana charges will be freed/released. 3 strikes law for the police. And we're going to have a masquerade ball. We're going to have a UFO convention. We're going to have a policeman's ball. We're going to have a bubble bath day. And on bubble bath day, something's going to get cleaned. Something is going to get cleaned. Now, bad. She's not for single-payer universal health care. Let the insurance companies have a seat at the table. It's almost like, is this the healthcare industry? Because there was somebody that had the article. Essentially, it's not Angelyne that's running the campaign. She's got some intelligence behind her who like flew a plane out and hurried up and then turned the papers in, and then so she's got some intelligence behind her. Is that a lobbyist for the insurance companies? I don't understand the whole, we're going to have all these, progressive shit, but we need to make sure the health insurance industry has a seat at the table. Also don't understand Angelyne's hatred for jury duty and daylight savings time. It's just an hour. It's not the worst thing in the fucking world, but I can see the argument. Jury duty sucks to have to do anything, but jury duty, you should be happy to step up to the plate. You get to judge, other motherfuckers and get to help institute justice or prevent, somebody from getting hurt. So your civic duty, you should be excited to go to jury duty. You can nullify the judge. No, fuck you, judge. This is what we say. We're the jury. And then that at least gives them a reason to appeal. So being the jury, God, that would be an honor to be a jury. The only thing about the jury that she said that made any sense was to make sure they get an honest day's pay or whatever. I thought they had to pay the same amount that they got at their job. So jury duty, if they're, paying you whatever, a day's wage, $100 every day, fucking A. To sit in a jury box and to judge you motherfuckers, give me $100 a day. I'll do that shit. So I believe that Angelyne, the billboard goddess, old-ass Hollywood, the billboard goddess Angelyne, I think putting her on the governor's throne is better than putting Larry Elder on the governor's throne. Infinitely better. Larry Elder would be a disaster for California. I'm not going to listen to any fucking California liberal after this election if Larry Elder becomes... He seems inevitable. It seems fucking inevitable. It looked like he tipped the scales. It's 5 days right behind the thing. He's got the fucking momentum. The momentum is on Larry Elder's side. If you don't see the tidal wave that's about to wipe out the village, the liberal progressive village, the wave of Trumpism is about to come crashing down on good old surfer California, good old liberal progressive, laid back California. So Larry Elder would be terrible, but Angelyne wouldn't be the greatest, but Larry Elder would fucking crash the goddamn state. So there's better candidates though than Angelyne. So don't forget though, however, she's a progressive. She wants to abolish private prisons. I haven't heard any of these candidates say something like that. She wants 3 strikes law for cops. None of these candidates have said that. She also wants to release the otters. Look at all these unique ideas. Look at all these unique ideas she is entering into the public narrative, into the California public discourse. I don't like our single-payer healthcare system, and there's better candidates. So, like Michael Loebs, okay? Let's take a break. Let's listen to David Moore, the Trotsky. All right, David Moore, the Trotsky. What are you going to do to help California out? Huh? What are you going to do to help California out, David Moore, the Trotsky?
In my personal experience, when I announced my own candidacy as a socialist opponent, a member of the DSA, true to form, we've written articles on this in the past, immediately decided it would be a good time to threaten to kill me with an ice pick and say, boy, you'd love to pick my brain. And that same DSA member went on to declare, you'd be better off voting for Larry Elder than for David Moore because he's so anti-working class.
Insane. In-fucking-sane. So there you go. That's what David Moore has to fucking deal with. He announces his candidacy. Yeah, he's a fucking socialist. Get over it. Jesus Christ. You want to cry some more, motherfuckers? Jesus Christ. What, you don't like communists? I'll be your fucking Huckleberry. I'm actually an anarcho-socialist, but you want to, what? Motherfuckers. I hate that anti-communist bullshit. Oh, you think a different economic system is better than, capitalism? You're not a good capitalist. You know Milton Friedman like the back of your hand? Because that's fundamental 101, capitalism 101. You don't know Milton Friedman? If you don't know Milton Friedman's definitions and understanding of capitalism, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You're not a socialist. You're not a capitalist. You're nothing. You're nothing. But actually, Michael Loebs, he says he's not a socialist or a capitalist. So, but he's more intelligent than your average bear. But he got a death threat. He wants, pick your brain because, Leon Trotsky got an ice pick to the fucking head. Apparently Stalin sent his henchmen to fucking Mexico and was able to get Trotsky. So Trotsky is not a Stalinist, right? We hate Stalin. We Trotskyist. We hate Stalin. We hate Mao. These motherfucking genocidal maniacs. These motherfuckers are traitors to the revolution. They destroyed communism, destroyed socialism. Stalin, all he gave a shit about was socialism in one country. The whole idea with Karl Marx was that you need to have all the leading countries adopt socialism. Once all the leading countries adopted socialism, then, and only then, would the working class be victorious. So the idea of a permanent revolution, the idea of socialism around the world and international socialism, these are cornerstones of Trotskyism. So there's 3 points, right? Stalin is a piece of shit. The revolution is permanent. And then socialism is international. He once said, David Moore once said that we have more in common against Michael Loebs, who I'm about to talk to about. Michael Loebs is the California nationalist. He's a super progressive, lots of progressive planks. But he said that we have more in common with the working class of the countries around the world. We have more in common with the working class peoples in Bolivia and Russia and China than we do the billionaires that live in California. So you want California nationalism? You want everybody within this state to be a one body, one people? You have more in common with the workers in Bangladesh and Cuba and Florida than you do the, billionaires in California. And I think he's right about that. What the fuck? Donald Trump didn't even know how to buy groceries. He thought you had to show an ID to buy groceries. You got to show an ID? You got to show an ID to buy goddamn cereal and fucking milk and flour and shit? Oh, man. Can't go buy some cereal today. Why? Forgot my ID. You've never shopped for groceries in your goddamn life, have you, Donald Trump? You never shopped for groceries in your life. Poor Donald Trump only had $1 million loan. Poor Donald. That's all he ever had. He only got a $1 million loan. How is he supposed to survive on just $1 million loan? So let's, I want to get all of these platforms in. So we talked about Angelyne. Now we're going to talk about Michael Loebs. Michael Loebs is surprisingly progressive. Let's just jump into the thing. So he's a nationalist. He's against the war on drugs. He's in favor of universal basic income. That's better than Dan Kapelovitz. Kapelovitz just wants a basic income. He also says he wants instant runoff voting and then kind of switches up and says he wants proportional representation real quick. Which is it? But he also is an animal lover. So Dan Kapelovitz, okay, that's his angle. He loves animals. But, anyways, Michael Loebs. Michael Loebs is against the war on drugs. Michael Loebs wants universal basic income. He wants universal health care. Michael Loebs is in favor of instant, runoff voting. So we would get IRV with Michael Loebs. We might not get it with Kapelovitz. Michael Loebs is in favor of net neutrality. Michael Loebs does not want a wall. Michael Loebs wants to end corporate personhood. Michael Loebs is against qualified immunity. He's in favor of a high-speed rail. End the war on drugs. Ban civil forfeiture. Get some high-speed rail. Get funding for the arts. And get California some independence. So he wants a people's bank. He wants funding for the arts. He wants universal health care, paid family and medical leave. He wants a California's People's Banks, a People's Bank for Californians, a People's Bank that have accounts for all residents, in an Office of Innovation to spur future technologies and equity fund for investment in community-owned businesses. This is Mike Loebs. This is very articulate, very sophisticated. This guy's been thinking about this shit for a while. Having a people's bank, ending the war on drugs, no wall, pro-net neutrality, pro-instant runoff voting, pro-universal health care, pro-universal basic income. He's got a whole bunch of other... Man, I'm not going to be able to get through this. I try to get all of them because I want to compare and contrast them side by side, but I guess I'll just make part 1, part 2 or something. So, he's got a whole bunch of other stuff here. Convert the Senate to proportional representation, add members to the Assembly, build desalination plants, 50-50 nationalized electricity plan, break up P&G with the state of California owning the transmission grids and the locally controlled, the distribution grids being locally controlled, a right to privacy, constitutional amendment, and oil extraction tax with a reduced state gas tax, end mass government surveillance. He's neither socialist nor capitalist. His campaign finance reform with contribution limits by individuals or in corporations, free preschool, California history requirement, bilingual education for everybody, guaranteed transfers from high schools and community colleges for good students, criminal justice reforms, especially the bail system with the elimination of qualified immunity and transfer of funding to non-police agencies, gun regulation by county with a state licensing system similar to automobiles, protect and expand California's existing autonomy with increasing moves towards true sovereignty, the transfer from the federal government of all land within California's borders, implement a California National Service Program, call Constitutional Convention to improve the California Constitution in ways that encourage and build towards independence for the California Republic with the consent of the United States. So he's in favor of secession. Michael Loebs is for secession, for independence, California Constitution. So he wants a brand new Constitution. He wants a Constitutional Convention. So Michael Loebs is calling for a Constitutional Convention. Super duper progressive. Well, I mean, did you hear everything I just fucking said? Meanwhile, Dan Kapelovitz, okay, he's a defense attorney. He's got, you know, he's like professor or light or something. He's an assistant professor. He wants to stop ICE. Okay, good. Pro-basic income, so not universal. Pro-nationalization of electricity. That's actually better than Michael Loebs. He wants to end factory farming completely. Not stop the abuse of factory farming, but just stop how are the people in California going to eat. But he loves animals. I like people that like animal rights. Jeffrey Dahmer killed animals and then he killed people, so people that love animals, I feel like, are less likely to be serial killers. You can't even love a dog? Well, goddamn, are you a serial killer? Huh? Oh, you go around abusing kittens, huh? Around the neighborhood late at night, you go around abusing kittens like Jeffrey Dahmer? Okay, you fucking sick fuck. You go around running over people's puppies? Huh? Hi, Jeffrey Dahmer, you sick motherfucker. You're not like Dan Kapelovitz. You're not pushing for universal health care. You're not in favor of public-financed elections. You're not in favor of green public power, pro-instant runoff voting. So he's pro-animal rights. I'm just going to read this. He just wrote this. Dan Kapelovitz, in his own words, I am an animal rights attorney running for California governor. My campaign calls for legal personhood for animals to protect them from cruelty and torture. A corporation is considered a person with some constitutional rights. Shouldn't living animals capable of suffering and joy be as well? This goes to the heart of the whole species argument. Some people say, okay, racism is the heart of every problem in the world. Some people say, no, it's speciesism. Humans think that they can murder and kill all these other animals around the world. So I think he makes a great argument that, you know, a goddamn deer is more of a person than a corporation. A piece of paper in a filing cabinet, that piece of paper in a filing cabinet is not a that is not a person. That is not a person. This fucking, you know, this cow, this dog, yeah, you might say it's not an actual human person, sure, but that piece of paper in a filing cabinet ain't living, it ain't breathing, there's nothing to it whatsoever. So his argument is sound. Animals are more people than corporations are. And so, okay, he's got a lot of progressive shit there, right? Stop ICE, awesome. Pro-basic income, okay. Pro-nationalization of electricity, in-factory farming, pro-universal health care, pro-publicly financed elections, pro-green public power, pro-instant runoff voting. A lot of good shit. He already had my love and adoration in the very beginning. All he had to do was just articulate some of his healthcare perspectives and, you know, be excited about wanting to talk to members of the public. Yeah, I'm not a Californian, but I'm a YouTuber, and, you know, I am looking into all your platforms and your planks, and I'm giving you the holistic view. You know, I'm not just saying, well, the party said we got to vote for this guy, so we're just going to go along with the party. I'm actually doing my own thinking. I'm, you know, looking at these independent people. I just started typing in names and Googling and researching and seeing if there's anything out there. Do these people even want me to, do they even have a website? Do they have anything on YouTube? Do they even want me to know who they are? Like, you're going to run for governor, but you're not going to have no presence online? Who the fuck are you? What the fuck is the point of that? That makes no sense. So I'm going to come back. We're going to talk some more about John Robert Drake. We're going to talk about John Robert Drake, and then we're going to get into David Moore. And we're going to say, I'm going to tell you why I ended up choosing David Moore out of all the candidates. I would vote yes on the recall. Personally, I don't think it matters yes or no. You need enough people to vote no. And if it doesn't go through, you need enough people to vote yes and to vote for a progressive. And you're saying, well, that'll split the vote. Yeah. It could, but you know what? 2 to 1 are Democrats. So what I'm not doing is it could split the vote and possibly, you know, open the fucking door. But I feel like there's so many liberals and Democrats, what it actually does is it gives you a bulwark. It gives you a safety net. It gives you a backup plan. It gives you a backup plan. So could enough people be peeled off the fucking recall effort? Sure, sure. But let's assume shit goes the way I think it very well could. Gavin Newsom loses the recall. Okay? So therefore it goes to the person you voted in question 2. That's who gets the power now. Gavin Newsom loses the recall. You could vote no. You could vote no on the recall and vote for somebody else. But if you just did what Gavin Newsom said, you voted no on the recall and then you voted for nobody else, well, you're stupid as shit. You're stupid as shit. Because if it goes the way it looks like it's going to go, Gavin Newsom gets recalled. Now, okay, progressive voice, you get to pick the governor. Whoever the progressive voice wants. Whoever Jackson Hinkle wants. Whoever Jimmy Dore and Ron Placone and Gene Cougar, Sam Cedar, and I guess Emma Vigilant, I guess she lives in California now, right? All these California fucking liberals. If your state gets taken by the fucking Republicans, you blowhard motherfuckers, y'all, you know, act like clowns online and people watch you and click on your shit. But how come you're not effective when it comes to concrete change? How come you're not actually making a goddamn difference? Okay, look at me, I got some clicks and you made some ad revenue and you got some money in your fucking pocket, but what about the rest of us? We're clicking on your shit, Jimmy Dore, because we need a motherfucker to go 100 miles an hour for us. So, thank you for going 100 miles an hour for us, Jimmy Dore. Can you actually get some real concrete change now? All right, coming up, John Robert Drake versus David